To be fair, the military, I'm not saying the military doesn't use dolphins. They do. The military has special handlers that use dolphins to look for underwater obstructions, like artificial reefs or something that a boat might run into, as well as look for minefields and navigate minefields. That's all well documented. Even North Korea had a program where they were strapping weapons on dolphins and sending them after like swick boats and shit. That's all true. The fact that he said dolphins have gills was my biggest issue, you know, because they don't. They breathe a blowhole and breathe oxygen. Gills are for absorbing oxygen out of the water. So... I watched that video some of you guys were sharing about, it covers the inbred family in West Virginia. They're from a place called, it's like like Dot, West Virginia, but it's not Dot. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, I did watch that video where they were calling out the other creator. I think it's a big miscommunication. I don't think Soft White Underbelly did anything nefarious. And I think he's reacting kind of the way probably most people would react. But from the outside looking in, people are going to be like, that's overreaction. He shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? But it's hard, unless you've been in that position, it's hard to say how somebody should react or would react. We'll just stop it right there. We won't play the lyric video. Let me finish setting up the YouTube stream. We'll put it on that song. Pause it. Let me go to the YouTube stream. I forgot to set it up right. So give me just a second. It shouldn't take but a second. To subscribers only for comments. No length of time. That doesn't matter. Uh-oh. Come on, come on, come on. Where you at? Oh, there it is. Monetization on. Save. Open. Live stream. By the way, we got to the bottom of the hackers hacking people's live streams because they really like them. Or they work for YouTube and putting thumbs up in their streams. It goes deep, guys. It goes deep. It's basically everybody at YouTube's involved. Multiple hackers, several states, Operation Swordfish. It's deep. It's a deep subject. But that's the best I can tell you right now. Don't want to give anything too much away. Here we go. Roll the ad intro.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that.
Y'all are nuts. No, long time no see, buddy.
So let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good
Silver's
show.
A good investment.
Enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially
usually
when
long-term investment.
It comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. How's everybody doing tonight? I would like to use this opportunity to call out Phil Godlewski. If you are not Phil Godlewski, you can skip this part. This is only for Phil Godlewski. Phil, now that everybody else is gone, just me and you. Listen, apparently, I ain't got no legs. I'm calling upon you. I know you like to donate. I know you like to, stir some stuff up, get the trolls hating the other trolls with this troll and that troll. I'm calling upon you to. I used to be 6 foot tall. I'm gonna need at least 3 foot per side of silver or gold, your choice, that we can melt down and make some of those curved, bent back sprinter legs. Okay, I'll be the fastest silver-legged man on the world. I know you got it and you're safe. That Nazi gold, that Nazi silver or whatever, just melt it down. Maybe we throw some aluminum in there because that sounds pretty high speed. Carbon fiber, but I want it mostly silver. Okay, I'm gonna need at least 6 foot of silver, and probably starting about this big around at the top, and then of course it comes down to a little fucking like a kind of like a little curved ski, so I can get some rebound on it. Thank you. All right, back to everybody else. That was just for Phil. I'll do a signal in case you were plugging your ears because you didn't want to hear it. Hey, we're back. There you go. We are back now for everybody else on the stream. Thank you for joining us. I'm Will Bird. This is the ones that look like paper clips. That's right. Poor little Tink Tink. Wasn't that Cat Williams or somebody? Poor little Tink Tink. Thank you guys for joining us. What's up? A little bit of a late start, but we were supposed to be on kick, so I usually start late on those days anyways. I was working on a couple things. Getting the office cleaned up a little bit. We had to buy a dryer a few months back. We just bought a cheap ass used one. I'm trying to find a used, maybe like HE dryer, washer and dryer set that match. We just got a mismatch set. They work, but like the washer's not that great. And then the dryer, you have to run it a couple times. Like it's just losing its heat. And I don't know, the elements look good. I guess I could take them out and test them with a meter and see what the resistance of them are. They seem to be doing all right, but it just takes a while to dry stuff. Plus, it doesn't help any that Mariah likes to put like 35 pairs of jeans in one load or 115 towels. Leaves it on me to dry them. It takes 14 cycles to dry them. But I got a dryer out of here and clean up the office, get it ready. My sister doesn't have access to her washer and dryer right now, so she's been coming by and using ours, which works out good. Also, baby's doing well. In case anybody was curious, baby's doing well. Thank you for the donations. I don't know if they've raised any more money or not. Mod, you feel more welcome. Oh, yeah, they're over $7,200. They were like right at $7,000. So there you go, over $7,200 or the $10,000 goal. If you want to share that, that'd be greatly appreciated. Or if you want to participate in it, they have a micro preemie baby on their hands. A micro preemie baby on their hands, which is a tiny little baby. But it's making progress. It's not like it's just laying there and not doing anything. I mean, it's opening its eyes. Its lungs seem to be working. They fluctuate. Its blood gases are doing all right. The brain scans look good. It's doing all right. The super washer is bigger than the dryer. I hate that. Oh. Yeah, we used to have a really nice set that I think her mom bought it for us at one point or something. It's like an expensive like HE, like top load and everything, or front load and everything. And it was really nice set. It just kind of wore out over, 5-6 years or whatever. And then I think at the time it was just about time to buy a new set was when we were looking at moving, and we didn't know if we were moving into another house, if we were going to be able to stay there, the house that we wanted to stay in, or what we were going to do. So I just bought the cheap one I found on Facebook when I think it was the washer messed up. I just bought the cheapest one I could find, and there you go. That's what we ended up with. But then I got the office. So if you don't remember, like I streamed for the campground for a few times. Then I streamed from my dad's van for a few times. And then finally, the Patreon was doing well enough that I was like, well, if we're going to stay at the campground, Mariah decided, at first we were like, this is just temporary. We're going to stay here and buy a house. Then Mariah fell in love with the freaking campground. Then the kids fell in love with the river once it got to summer. They fucking love the river. So the Patreon was doing good. So I was like, I'll get an office. That way I have some room. The van was pretty cramped and the camper just wasn't conducive to it. Well, just by luck, I didn't even know this till after I'd signed the lease. Or I didn't even think about it. The person that had this before me used to do tie-dye. So she's kind of like a hippie lady, the office that I'm in. She had like a shirt or a shop where she showed like crystals, blah, 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 but she did tie-dye. So the landlord put a washer and dryer hookup in for her. So we grabbed a washer and dryer and we've been using it there since so we don't have to go to the laundromat. It works out good. It works out pretty good. I wish they were just more efficient, quicker, did better, but whatever. It works. It does the thing that it's supposed to be doing. And that's all we can ask. So if you don't know about the little bit of the scandal, does anybody have a Mac? Are you guys watching on a Mac? Not a iPhone, like a MacBook or a Mac desktop. Anyways, there's a little bit of a scandal around the, I think they call them like the most inbred, hold on, soft, white, underbelly, inbred. YouTube might actually freeze my shit for playing this. So it's the inbred family, the Whitakers, right? They have that boy that just like bought that one young guy that, well, I guess he's not young. He's probably like 50. This guy right here, he just barks. He speaks no English. He just barks. And they're an extremely inbred family. But I also think that even without the inbreeding, there was just some mental retardation, I guess, or handicap, or whatever you want to call it, like in the family already. So the scandal is this other YouTuber, Soft White Underbelly, has done this YouTube show. And he runs a GoFundMe for them. Originally, the GoFundMe was just because people wanted to help them. This is one of his biggest shows he's ever done. Originally, GoFundMe was just people that wanted to help him, and they raised money on it. Well, then he got some updates from them, and they're basically like, yes, it got me a strike midstream. I don't want to play this. I want to play his response. But yes, this got me a strike midstream. YouTube, they're bigger creators and they're better videos. They automatically monitor. It's not like he gave me a strike. YouTube automatically monitors it and takes it down. It's crazy. But anyways, he runs a GoFundMe for them. And then through some of the updates he had with them, talking on the phone, their house was basically just falling apart. If you haven't seen their house, it's basically like
incoming dono clip.
It was originally a house. It looks like they've done their own maintenance, repairs. Looks like they've done their own additions to it. It's just a rough house. Well, it's basically just falling apart, right? So they decided they wanted to buy a house. Instead of trying to fix up that house, they just wanted to buy a house. So he starts a GoFundMe to like help buy him a house. So another YouTuber, and that's been going on for like a year. And it should have, the two GoFundMes combined, should have about $100,000 in them. Well, really about 130, but you got to think like 30% is taxes. And if somebody doesn't pay the taxes, they're not going to, right? And no one wants them to see, thank you. And no one wants to see these people like in prison for tax evasion. So Mark pays the taxes. He's got all the receipts on that. But this other YouTuber went up there and he was just showing basically West Virginia. He was basically just showing West Virginia. Why West Virginia is so poor. No, that wasn't it. I went to no, it's the poorest. What's Jay, I don't know if you're in here. She's the one who shared it and tagged me, and I'll look it up in just a second. Oh, right here. Tyler Oliveira says, I investigated the poorest region of America. So he goes to West Virginia, and he starts out at like the third poorest town, second poorest town. Then he goes to the poorest town of all of West Virginia. They're talking about meth and, you know, all the things that West Virginia is known for. Meth was the opiate epidemic. Then that went to heroin and even some fentanyl back early in the days. They were one of the only places that had fentanyl. Then it kind of went all meth. And now it's kind of going all fentanyl. Even if you go to buy meth, it's got fentanyl in it. If you go buy fucking weed, it's got fentanyl. Everything's got fentanyl in it. Heroin, everything. So the coal mine shut down, that kind of deal. He goes over there and interviews people. And they talk about incest, and they talk about being poor, and they talk about he just interviews people on the street and asks them, like, I'll show you a clip of it. Hold on. I won't play much of it. We'll play a clip. I'll just randomly, like, he just talks to people on the street. Like, how do you like West Virginia? It's not like he does like a deep dive, like research. That's not his thing. His thing is like showing up at a place and saying, what do you think about this town? What do you think about the drugs? Do you like it? Kind of deal. This.
For a month out here.
Not much.
What's up, Snake and Magic?
I know I get a small check every month.
What are you getting right now?
I get exercise, Social Security. But my
one guy said that they give them a disability exam. A lot of people are on disability. So they give them a disability exam, which is basically like they tell them they can't read or write, which a lot of them probably can't. But then they give them this disability exam that's basically like the children's toy. You like put the square, it's a box, and you put the square block in the square hole, round block in the round hole, and they just fell it on purpose to get a disability check because there's like no jobs. Anyways, he just kind of does this. He interviews people.
What is your rent?
$900 a month.
Yeah, I live in West Virginia because it's cheap to live.
So this guy lives in West Virginia, but drives, I think, 60 miles a day one way and 60 miles back to work in Virginia, right? Hey, what's up, Sage? Yeah, this guy does the interviews, but West Virginia's, and he does shows like this. I traveled to the dumbest place, the poorest place, the richest place, the whatever. I investigated the city that pays you to do drugs, like just a bunch of different places he goes to, right? Anyways, towards the end of this interview, or towards the end of this show, he got in contact with basically the only other person besides the guy, I think his name's Matt from Soft Wet Underbelly. Is that his name? Mark. He gets in touch with basically like this woman who's like a caseworker in a different state, I think. Like she does social services, something. And she's besides the Soft White Underbelly guy, she's one of the only people that's ever spoke to these people. And he gets in touch with her and says, I'm in Virginia. I'd like to speak to them, whatever. I'll go buy them some groceries or whatever. And if they want to talk, they want to talk. And if they don't, they don't. Okay? So he gets in touch with her. She gives them the place where they live. Now, they've kind of kept it secret, sort of. Mark has, and the other lady has, where they live specifically, because they were such a hit with millions of views. They don't want people showing up and like hanging out or trying to get in there, or a bunch of TikTokers trying to do TikToks with, they would be like overran with people trying to get to them. So this woman does give him permission. He goes and buys a bunch of groceries. If you ever watched this Soft White Underbelly show, it basically goes over what their favorite groceries are. Like the guy that barks, he loves Dr. Pepper. So he buys like a case of Dr. Pepper. He probably buys a couple $100, maybe more, groceries and takes them up there. Well, he's trying to talk to the main woman who's like the matriarch of the family. She's like the spokesperson of the family. He's trying to talk to her, and she just doesn't talk real good. He's like, what about Mark? And she's like, I don't know. I talked to Mark. And he's like, well, what about the GoFundMe? You guys getting a house? I don't know nothing about that. Mark didn't tell me. And he says, well, Mark raised money for you, right? Yeah, Mark does money. I call him. And he's like, have you talked to Mark? And she's like, I talked to him 3 weeks ago. Or 2 weeks ago or something like that. He's like, well, what about the money for the house? And she's like, he didn't say nothing about that. Says there ain't no money left. So this guy kind of insinuates that Mark should have updated people. Why are these people think there's no money left? Where'd the money go? He even says at the very end of his video, he's like, if you're an honest man, I'm starting to GoFundMe for 1 month for them, and we'll combine, and donating $10,000 of my own dollars, and we'll combine. But it's kind of like he says in his update video, like, I never called Mark. I never called him a scammer or any names. I just asked him where the money was. But he kind of insinuates it, right? He kind of insinuates it. So then Mark does a response video to that and basically says, look, I'm stopping every GoFundMe. I got a GoFundMe for my channel that we take and we give it to people who need it, blah, 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 whatever. I got 2 GoFundMes for the Whitakers. I'm shutting them all down. And then he goes on to explain, like, the GoFundMe for his channel, if you took everybody he's ever interviewed on his channel and the total, it would be like a couple dollars per person. And he pays these people for their interviews. Like, when he goes and picks up like a crackhead off Skid Row, he probably pays them hundreds of dollars for their interview, right? But he goes on to explain, yes, I started a GoFundMe for them and for their house. Yes, it earned money. But the Whitakers call me like every 2 or 3 weeks and always claim they have some type of emergency and they need money. So not only have I given them thousands of dollars out of my own pocket when the GoFundMe doesn't have money in it, but they've basically depleted all of their GoFundMe. And we'll go look at that. Hold on. We'll go watch that. What we can, unless YouTube strikes it. Because he does a really good job, like Bug Dude said. He does a really good job of explaining it. And I feel like he was kind of called out too. I think, so from the outside looking in, you're thinking he's turning off all his GoFundMes. That's a bad look. Why would he do that? That's silly. He shouldn't do that. It's an overreaction. It makes it, when you overreact, it makes you seem like you're guilty. But I don't think that's true. If you've ever been in the situation where you're trying to help people and they're doing everything they can to stay broke or poor or not help themselves, right? They won't let the GoFundMe build up so they can buy a house. They're calling him every few weeks asking for money, right? And it's their money. He can't really tell them no. I mean, he can say like, hey, we're trying to save for a house, so it'd be better if you, but it's their money. He can't say no, this is for a house, freeze to death. It's their money, so he has to kind of give it to them and just can kind of encourage them. But it was almost like accusations were made against him. And I don't blame him for shutting down his GoFundMes. I don't think it's an overreaction because I've been in that situation before, trying to help people that really don't want to help themselves or don't understand helping themselves. And it's very frustrating, especially when someone tries to call you out like you're scamming somebody. But we'll watch this, and I'll keep an eye on the YouTube stream. If it goes down, we'll just do something else. I'll tell you about it. I'll read the transcript or something.
All right,
Here we go.
The only thing that Mark could have done better, I don't particularly like Mark either, right? I don't dislike him. I just feel like he's made a lot of money off like crackheads and hookers and people that have been molested and assaulted and have really poor lives. He makes a ton of money and gives him a couple $100 for the interview, and then his video makes $30,000 on ad revenue. I don't particularly like him either. The only thing that I think Mark could have done better, and the reason I'm covering this is because basically someone accused him of being a grifter, right? And I don't think he is. The only thing Mark could have done better is he could have had, like, let's say, quarterly announcements saying, hey guys, this quarter we raised $20,000, but $22,000 over the process of, the 3 months, they withdrew it and had to spend it on a car or heating or a bill or whatever. Whatever he needed to do. He could have updated it more, but he never said that he would update it with every dollar. Like when he started the GoFundMe, he said, we're going to try and raise some GoFundMe money and see if we can get him enough money to buy a house. They took the money. He never promised he would, he never promised that he would update everything. So it is what it is. Here's his response. I'll be watching YouTube to make sure it doesn't go down. And 35 people will tell me.
Hey, everybody. This is Mark. I thought I'd address something that a lot of people are have questions about. There's
Finish my one soda for the day.
Tyler Oliveira, I believe his name is. He has a channel.
YouTube will probably get me for this because it's one of their big creators.
But he posted a video about poverty in West Virginia, but he spent some time with the Whitaker family in West Virginia and asked a lot of questions about the GoFundMe that my channel has that benefits the family. And I thought I'd answer everyone's questions because I'm sure if you've watched that video, you've got a lot of questions about what's going on with the GoFundMe for the Whitakers. This GoFundMe that I've had for years since I've been interviewing the family has generated a lot of money for the family.
Yeah, well, I think so Mark doesn't give them a lot of money for their interviews. He's afraid they overdose if he gives them too much. That is true, especially the drug addict people or the people that seem like they're on drugs. That's 100% true. But I think he gives them more than $40 if they contact him again. And he tells them like, hey, I'll give you, up to whatever, $200 or whatever, but you got to stay in touch because occasionally he does little update snippet videos updates, and sometimes they'll be on camera. Sometimes it'll just be like text over their old videos. I think he gives them more, but he's got to almost give it out like an allowance. If he gave them a couple $100, like you said, they would go fucking overdose. But some of them never contact him again, right? They're living on the street, they're crackheads, they're whatever. Give them $50, and he never hears from them again. A lot of the update videos he's tried to do in the past, he just can't get a hold of these people. They don't exist as far as like the regular world is concerned.
It was always designed to help them with their living expenses. And then, like, end of last year, we changed it to, we started a new GoFundMe, and I tried to start a new one so it would look like this is how much money we're going to get for the house. And as we accumulated money for that, I was thinking, hey, we're getting closer to our goal. But the problem has been that Betty and Larry will call me every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks.
Betty is the main woman, and Larry is the main man of this family, if you haven't seen it.
Weeks and say, hey, we need money for a car. Larry wrecked his car. We need a new car. We need food. We need this. We need that. It's always an emergency, and they need money. And it is their money. This money is, all these donations are for the Whitakers.
I agree with him here. Okay. Featured all the people that had passed away. I saw that, and some unknown statuses that he believed had passed away. This I agree with. Could he have updated the donors on this? Sure, but he never promised he would. He never said he would. He never. It's not like the one with Nick Alvear where they're like, "We'll show all the receipts. You don't deserve the receipts. You want to call the CEO?" Like, that's pretty shady. But this one is, which I do think they'll produce the receipts eventually. I think it's kind of weird that they're not producing any yet, and they've already paid for services. Whatever. Anyways, could he have updated people? Yes. He never promised that he would. But, yeah, I think the people feel like they got their story out. You're right, Sue Todd. It's their money. If he would have said, no, you can't have it. I'm sorry. You can't pay your heat bill. You can't pay your electricity, or your car's totaled or undrivable or whatever. It's their money, right? I mean, he can say like, hey guys, we really, really, really need to I'm going to send you the money, but I want to make it clear to you, we really need to concentrate on getting you a house, right? Because your house is falling apart. And I think he does. He tries to lead them in the right direction. But what's he supposed to do? Withhold their actual money? I mean, it's theirs.
When they tell me they need money, what am I going to say? No, you can't have it. We're saving it for a house. So I give them the money. Sometimes it's 5,000, sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 6.
And I do believe 100% Mark probably has a bigger connection to the Whitakers than he does other people, because it was such a big video, because he traveled to them, because he's been to their house, because he tried to help them out, because he spent so much time with her. I believe him 100% when he says that he put his own money into this too. I guarantee you he's probably, funded his own $2,000, $5,000, $3,000 donations at times.
Sir, one time it was 14, sometimes it's 3 or 2, but it adds up every few weeks.
So one time it was 14,000, sometimes it's 3, 2, 5. It just depends, but all that adds up.
I'm getting another phone call. We need more money. We need more money. We need more money. And I wire transfer it to Betty. I'll show you a screenshot of my bank account and all the wire transfers I sent to Betty. These are all.
Yeah, he takes care of that Rebecca girl. You're right.
From my account to Betty Whitaker's account at the Chase Bank. I think it is in Beckley.
So he's basically got all the receipts. So he's 1,000, 2,000, 400, 3,300, 3,000.
So even though we
5,000, 5,000, 2,000, 1,000, 4,200, 5,000.
55. The one for the house is 55,000.
4,000, 5,000, 14,000 was one of the big ones. I don't think he says exactly what it's for, but he does mention that one time it was $14,000 he sent to him.
That totals what?
2, 3.
Roughly. Keep in mind that money still, we still need to pay tax on that money.
So when he adds all this up, this is about $100,000 that came in. He says that if you add up both GoFundMes, they're somewhere around like 130. He paid taxes on it, and 30% is not an unreasonable tax an amount. Liberty Warrior one time, when he was doing fundraisers for people, he was charging 30% tax when he received it for GoFundMe and 30% tax when he sent it to you. He was charging 60% taxes, apparently, to people he raised money for.
Somebody needs to pay the tax. If I left it up to the Whitakers to pay the taxes, I think we'd have a problem with the IRS. And I don't want to get the Whitakers involved in any kind of tax problem, so I chose to pay the tax on that money.
$100,300 is this total of all the receipts he's got of every wire transfer, all the way from, what's that? That's 9/2002, all the way up to, let's say the most recent one was in January 31st, and this was from 4 days ago. Filmed and edited before that, so, probably the end of February. And the last time he sent him money was the end of January.
Going from my account to Betty Whitaker's account at the That totals what, 120, 130,000 roughly. Keep in mind that money still, we still need to pay tax on that money. Somebody needs to pay the tax. If I left it up to the Whitakers to pay the taxes, I think we'd have a problem with the IRS. And I don't want to get the Whitakers involved in any kind of tax problem. So I chose to pay the tax on that money, and they get every cent that is left after the taxes are taken.
I do agree with him paying the taxes too, right? To be fair, they're not that good with money. If you just handed them $130,000 or even $5,000, they're not going to take 30% out for taxes at the end of the year. Then they're probably not going to even claim it. And then what have we done? You know, have we got them? Have we somehow, by not doing due diligence and not taking care of the taxes ourselves, have we made them criminals?
You know, because I've gotten these weekly, not weekly, but every few week calls from Betty or Larry asking for money, the money that's in these accounts gets depleted. It's always happened with them. Where it looks, you look at the GoFundMe, it's generating money. All of a sudden there's 55,000. Oh, we're getting closer. No, you're not.
So GoFundMe, of course, keeps a running total. We'll use Nick's GoFundMe. So there's $7,200. So people might say to him, let's say he has like a $7,000 bill or something he has to pay. People will be like, there's $7,200 in your GoFundMe. But if they've already spent $1,000 on this and $200 on that and $500 on this or $600 on that, like paying bills, no, there's not 70. That was the total, right? But if money's coming in and money's going out, it doesn't mean that full amount's there. So when people see, oh, we've got $55,000 in there, they're getting close to a house. If somebody else could raise $55,000, you know, that's 100, 110 or whatever, where they could probably buy a house where they live because housing's really cheap there because no one has money. But if it's always going out, there isn't $55,000. There's $0 there. Zero.
Because they took out 5, and they took out 6, and they took out 8, and they took out 14, and they took out 3, and it keeps it low. It's 0 right now. It's been 0 for a few months. Larry and Betty have called me, asked me for money. I've given it to them out of my own personal bank account, not out of the GoFundMe donations, because I like helping the family. But
out of his own part, and I do believe that. I'm sure he's probably got the receipts as well, but I do believe that he helped those people. I think he has a pretty close connection with the Whitakers, and I do believe he helped them as well.
Without the ability to stop spending and start saving, we're never going to get close to that house.
When the house came up, also, I think they brought up a house that was across the street from them.
Right next door.
Yeah, and when we looked it up, it was over $200,000. So we knew.
I don't think they want to leave their neighborhood.
Right.
So they like the house next door. It's a nice house. It's expensive for the neighborhood, but whatever. That's
Another thing that this YouTuber found, I think he found a house that was right at $100,000, and that he started a GoFundMe. Now his GoFundMe is only going to run for 30 days. But he donated, the other YouTuber donated, Tyler, donated over $10,000 of his own money and invited his audience to donate as much as they could or as much as they were willing to. And his suggestion was basically like, it was kind of like a slap in the face. He's like, if you're as honest as you claim to be, Mark, let's combine our GoFundMe. Or if you're as stand-up a guy as you say you are, Mark, let's combine our GoFundMes and get them a house. They don't know they don't know where the money went. If it's still there, let's combine our money, which is, you know, that's kind of back. So Tyler claims I never called you a scammer. I never said you stole their money, which he didn't. He never says the word thief. He never says the word scammer, but he alludes pretty heavily to it. I don't know if we can, let's see if we can do this. Let me go back to Tyler's video and watch the very end of it. He alludes pretty heavily. If you have any honor, thank you. I couldn't remember the exact words he said. Yes, if you have any honor, let's combine our GoFundMes and we'll buy them a house. Which is that's like a slap in the face, right? Like while he's trying to help these people and they're calling him every week and he's paying out of his own pocket because they've depleted it. Which again, Tyler didn't know any of that, but still, like. And the woman does say, I don't know nothing about no house. Mark said there ain't no money in there. Like she's not exactly a scholar, right? When she's talking to this guy, she's just barely talking to him. It's not like she's given an in-depth portrayal of wherever dime went or how much money she spent. She just doesn't have that capacity to have that conversation. All right, here's the end of his video.
Texted me, she said, hey Tyler, you guys had already left when I got in touch with Betty. I called a couple of times and she didn't answer. She was so excited. That is
which I'm not knocking him for taking groceries. That's awesome. I remember we've done, me and Mariah have done this, went and bought groceries for people. And when I was a kid, that was something that my parents would try to do. When we had family members or neighbors or whatever struggling, they would just show up with $100 worth of groceries. which back then was a lot more groceries. But I think it's better than cash. I was just going to be honest with you. I have a real hard time trusting people with cash. I've had people call me before and be like, I got to pay my light bill. They're shutting it off today. I need $400. And I'd be like, okay, well, I'll pay your light bill. Okay, call and tell them that I don't need your account number. Just call and tell them that William Byrd is going to call in and put it on his card. No, if you're going to do all that, then never mind. I just wanted you to give me the money. I have a hard time trusting people. I'll admit it. But I would pay somebody's bills. I would show up with groceries if they told me they didn't have no food. I don't like handing them money, and I have no idea where it went. I've just been burnt too many times, right? I need groceries, and then give them money, and then the next thing you know, they're all methed out, and you see them on fucking social media. You know what I mean?
I feel good. They were super sweet. They were grocery up.
But I do think he was kind of fishing for views with this little thing you're about to see. Just watch.
They were in the middle of nowhere. And Mark, where is the house? Paige?
Mark, where is the house? As if Mark did something to keep them from having a house, right? That's the first little accusation. Then he kind of tries, this woman's like, you know, I like Mark. I've talked to him a bunch, but I want to know where the money's at.
Mark has always been nice to me, so I hate to be the bad.
Mark's a millionaire, okay? His YouTube channel has made over $1 million, guaranteed. I don't think he's stealing $100,000 from the poorest people in West Virginia. I just don't think he is.
I just want someone, like, hopefully somehow or something, like, funds to be raised for them to, like, because there's money that has been raised. I mean, we all see it.
Yep.
So, like, there should be, my goodness, to get them a house, you know?
Thanks so much.
We all see it.
Yeah,
There should be enough for them to get a house.
It's a situation, but it's, you know, like, they just need somebody to care about them.
I started a GoFundMe linked in this video's description and donated $10,000 of my own money. If you feel moved by these innocent souls and want to help them live their elderly years in peace, feel free to donate below. Mark, if you have any honor, let's combine whatever my viewers and I raise, your two GoFundMes. Let's get the Whitakers a new house for reals. Thanks for watching, guys.
If you have any kind of honor, let's get them a house for real. Let's combine our GoFundMe and we get them a house for real. As if what Mark was doing was fake, and as if there's a question as to whether Mark has honor or not. Like that's kind of like a slap in the face, right? I mean, I could slow it down, you can listen to it again, but that's kind of like a slap in the face. Or at least that's the way I would take it. It's not great.
To care about them.
I started a GoFundMe linked in this video's description and donated $10,000 of my own money. If you feel moved by these innocent souls and want to help them live their elderly years in peace, feel free to donate below. Mark, if you have any honor, let's combine whatever my viewers and I raise, your two GoFundMes, and let's get the Whitakers a new house for reals. Thanks for watching, guys. Also,
he found a house for $140,000. That was the house he just showed, the $140,000 house. Now, they don't want that house. They've never mentioned that house. The house they actually wanted, they don't want to leave their neighborhood. They want to stay in the area. So they found a house that's kind of like across the street, but it was $200,000. I don't know. It's just kind of like pretty backhanded. So I don't blame Mark's response of being like, hey, maybe you just wanted views or something, but here's what's really going on. It kind of insinuates that there's a question to whether Mark is honorable or not. He says, Mark, where's the house? As if Mark is the holdup in the situation, and there should have already been a house. Without knowing any of the details. And he could have contacted Mark and said, hey, I'm doing this video. I'm going to raise a GoFundMe. I'm going to do a GoFundMe. I want to combine it with your funds. Is that cool or whatever? Or how much funds do we have towards the house? What's going on? Something. I don't know. It's strange. And then if Tyler is so passionate about doing this right and honorable and getting them a house, why is he only running his GoFundMe for 30 days? Why don't you run a GoFundMe for, you know, a year and a half or 3 years or whatever, and you speak with them, manage their money, and buy them a house? You've got a bigger audience than Mark does.
That's a whole other topic, because we're not talking about whether they're going to get a house now or not.
Right.
This is about this video that Tyler Oliveira created. Basically, it's you know, there are people on social media that create these like scandal stories. They're not factual.
It's misinformation.
They're misinformation. They're making up facts to create a scandal. Like, wouldn't it be juicy if Soft Underbelly was collecting GoFundMe donations and he was keeping the money? Ooh, that'd be a really juicy story. So that's what he designed. He didn't ask me. He never called me. He did call me once to ask if he could give them my contact info, but I don't want to give out the contact info of everybody I interview. You know.
So he didn't contact him anything about the GoFundMe. He did contact him and say, hey, can you give me their address? I want to go see them.
How many requests for the Whitaker contact info did we get back?
So many. It would have ruined their life if all the people got their
yeah. So we have to figure out a way to keep everybody from just going to the house and becoming like a problem for them. So I made up excuses why I'm not going to give out the contact information.
We've done that for a lot of guests. Not just the Whitakers.
Anybody asking for a girl's phone number, a girl's email, I always say no.
That's right.
Emailing us to get somebody's contact info is not the way to do it. But back to this problem. So Tyler creates this video, it's gonna have 1 million views soon. His channel's bigger than mine. He's got a lot of followers, so he's basically ruining my reputation for some people. Now, luckily, I think my audience is smart enough to know the difference between BS and a social media scandal that's all fake and the truth. But this is what these people do. He's just one of many that create these scandalous stories and say, "Ooh, he could have easily contacted me." He says, "Hey, Mark, my name's Tyler. I'm doing a video on the Whitakers." Or
I think Mark's upset. I think he's kind of overstating what Tyler did, but I don't blame him for being upset. Right? Tyler didn't actually like. I wouldn't go as far as to say like, oh, he made up this scandalous story just to get views or whatever. I would say like he insinuated that I was honorless or that my honor might be in question. He insinuated that I was somehow the reason that they didn't have a house by saying, Mark, where's the house? If you have any honor at all, let's combine our GoFundMe. That was all weird.
On the GoFundMe, tell me what's going on with that. I would have said, yeah, I give the money at least once or twice a month, sometimes 5,000, sometimes more, sometimes a little less, and it adds up, and it's depleting the reserve of money that we're trying to build for the house. So now it's basically right around zero, and we wait for more donations, and I give them the money. That would have killed his whole story. Because what he wanted was to make me look like I'm not giving them the money. They've gotten every single cent of any money that was ever donated.
And that might be true, right? That might be true. He might have done all this for a scandal, and he wanted this story to break as if Mark was dishonorable and Mark was doing this. Mark was still, that might all be true, but he just can't prove that at this point, right? All he knows at this point is the guy kind of questioned his honor, questioned his integrity, set it up as if maybe he was the problem, but it was all in a questioning nature.
Pay the taxes, and everything else goes to them. That's always been the case with my channel's general GoFundMe as well as the Whitaker's GoFundMe. It's just a shame that I share a platform with people that do this kind of stuff. I think it's just the nature of our new world with...
Oh.
Anonymous gifted Beyond the Mission a subscription.
Thank you very much for the gifted sub. While we're talking about that, let me go ahead and play this dono clip. You guys will be excited. Yaller Nuts is back. Yaller Nuts is back with a brand new dono clip. She's been gone for a while. She's like Austin. Maybe Legend has Yaller Nuts tied up too. Wasn't she the cucumber queen or something?
Here's a little story about a man named Will. He had no legs, so he called a guy named Phil. He asked for some silver and he got really rich. Then he moved to Arizona and he started to grift.
Got him. That was very good, Yaller Nuts. You're good at these little ditties or whatever. Oh, there's the donation come through as well. I need to figure out how to separate those and put so-and-so did a dono clip. Thank you very much. That was really good. You're good at those, Yaller Nuts. That was good. Thank you.
The confluence of social media and
it's just a race to create content, it feels like. That's all.
Yeah, it's just freedom of speech and the internet to combine are dangerous. But that's the world we have now. So people are getting used to it. They know, oh, this is just a hater or it's BS. And I think a lot of people smell BS when they see this kind of stuff. But some people don't know my reputation. They don't know who I am. And they'll hear a story like this. Like, yeah, he's a scammer. He's a con artist. He's keeping the money for the GoFundMe.
Especially if people who have just...
I'm showing you the proof in this video.
If you've only ever seen the Whitakers on his channel and then maybe you follow this Tyler guy, you like him, you know, he's your guy that you watch all his shows or whatever, I'm sure you would almost instantly believe it.
That's just the nature of human beings, I think. You know, it's disappointing that that's the way it goes, but that's what's going on in our world.
There's many viewers that actually reach out to us when things like this happen, so thanks to those.
No, the way I found about it was somebody emailed us, I think, and then told us this was going on. But my viewers are great. My base viewers are great. The peripheral ones that kind of like love scandals and love to hate, I don't know why they're even on my channel. I think they're just frustrated and bored. But you know, if you what did Jesus tell us? Love your neighbor as you love yourself. I think another way to interpret that is if you love yourself, you will love your neighbor. It's just natural. If you're happy with yourself, you're going to be kind to others. And likewise, if you hate yourself, you're going to hate others. That's just the way it works.
I think it's my problem.
And they're going to hate on other people. Like I've done a thing. Look at the Whitaker's life.
I hate that I don't have no legs.
They're so much better since I came into it. Their lives
like Lieutenant Dan up in here.
Kind and generous, and I'm helpful. And when they needed help, I came through for them every single time. The fact that Betty comes on, stood in front of him, his cameras, and said, when he asked what happened.
I think he's probably frustrated here because it's hard to hold Betty accountable. Like, yeah, Betty says, I don't know where the money's at. I don't know nothing about a house. I don't know. What did you expect her to say? Did you expect her to say like, oh, well, I talked to Mark, and most of the time, every couple of weeks, I have to call and basically beg him for money because we've had an emergency. So that's depleted all the funds, blah, blah, blah. Like, and what did she say that may have been cut out of the video? You weren't going to get Betty to give you the most intellectual or logical answer, right? She's just not. She's not capable of it. And what, like I said, what she could have had some of that cut out. Who knows? If you think he's really out here to make this a scandal, to make this about you being dishonorable or you being a GoFundMe thief or a scammer, grifter, whatever. Who knows what was cut out? Maybe she did tell him more.
With the money, she goes, I don't know. come on. Benny knows exactly where that money went. She calls me every 2-3 weeks to ask me for more. And I always ask her, like, what do you do with all this money? You live in West Virginia. How can you spend so much money like this? She goes, I need it. And it's her money, so I give it to her. But between her and Larry, there's a lot of money flowing out of that GoFundMe. And it's down to zero now. So I'm actually going to discontinue my GoFundMes for the Whitakers. I probably won't even do videos with them anymore. It's just like, it's left such a bad taste in my mouth.
Now, Tyler made a response to this, and it's like, seems kind of suspicious that one person with a platform called you out or asked some questions and suddenly you turn off all your GoFundMes. I don't think that's true. Like I said, I've been in a position where helping people became more of a hassle and a shot at me, like a way that people were attacking me, even though I was just trying to help somebody who didn't want to help themselves. And I can understand that frustration. I would probably be at the same point. Like I'm just turning it all off. If someone else wants to start a GoFundMe, handle all the taxes, handle all the monies, handle all the money, handle all the phone calls coming in, handle all the, my car broke down, my roof caved in, my electric bill's twice as high as usual, then they can have all that hassle and headache. I was doing it out of the kindness of my heart, but if someone else wants to do it, have at it. It's not me anymore. I feel like I'd be the same way. Just cut it off.
Well, after all this, there's other things that are interesting for me in the world. So I just it leaves a really bad taste in my mouth after what just happened. Like nobody came to my defense and said, hey, Mark gives us a lot of help, a lot of money. Nobody said that. I never once ever got a thank you from anybody. But that's a whole other conversation. But I also have a GoFundMe for my channel in general. And the reason these GoFundMes exist in the first place, I should say, is because people would watch my videos and get all heartbroken. Oh my God, this poor person, I feel so bad for them. How can I help? Oh, and if I have a GoFundMe, you can donate $5, $10, $20, whatever. I
do like this kind of style of his interviews. Like it's just hard to come to terms with somebody whose channel makes multiple millions of dollars, and he gets a $40 interview that makes him $20,000 or what. It's hard to contemplate that. But I do like kind of like the raw, grungy style. Like this person's telling their story. It's not his fault he's popular. That's why people like it. You know what I mean? It's not his fault he gets views. And I understand, like, if he gives them too much money, again, they'll overdose. It's just a weird catch-22 that it's not his fault. It's not his channel's fault. It's not the people's fault. It's just in a weird space where it's hard to wrap your head around it.
So it gives people a way to not be frustrated after watching my videos. If you total up all the GoFundMe donations I got, like let's say we hit our goal of $100,000 for the general GoFundMe.
The brother?
The Whitaker one is, I think it's higher for the house, but the Whitaker one has generated like $130,000 between the 77 and the 55 it is right now, so it's roughly $130,000, I think. They've received, according to the list that I put on screen earlier, it's that's $100,000 right there. And then I've given them $25,000 cash every time I see them. I'm giving them 5 here, 5 there, 4 there, 3 there.
$25,000 every time he goes to see them. He gives them $25,000 cash. So that's at least 75, because I know he's went to see them 3 times.
It's $25,000, and then consider that 37% of all these donations needs to be, the taxes need to be paid on that. Who's going to pay that? So I pay
37% is taxes.
37% tax, and everything else goes to the Whitakers. But back to my channel's general GoFundMe. Let's say it generated $100,000. That $100,000 is shared amongst the 8,000 people I've interviewed. That comes to $12.50 per person. I can guarantee you, I'm paying, like, especially the people on Skid Row, I'm paying them a lot more than $12.50 for these interviews. And another thing to consider is 60,000 of that 100,000 went to one person. Another 20 or 30,000 of it went to another person that's on my channel. Because when people would make donations, I want my money to go to this person or that person. So I would do that, and that leaves very little. So it's a matter of maybe $1 or a few cents per person. So these GoFundMes have been nothing but a headache for me. I'm going to delete or take down all my GoFundMes. I'm no longer offered a way to make donations.
Again, I understand the reaction. And I don't think somebody can call him out and be like, oh, that's awful. So we'll watch Tyler's video here in a second.
There's nothing in it for me except headache and frustration. Every time I start giving a person money, they start coming back and asking me for more. And they start getting vindictive if I cut them off or say no. So it's like I have to just continue.
I understand that too. So every time that somebody comes and asks you for money, especially if they're dealing with drugs or just they can't manage their money or they've never had money before, they don't know how to manage it or what it looks like to save money and not touch it, that the first time you give it to them, that just opens the gate for them to come back for more. And if you tell somebody no or you don't have any more, the first thing, especially when they're on drugs, the first thing they do is get mad as hell. Mad.
The trail of money, and it comes out of my pocket every single time. So it's like, I'm just gonna create videos. If you like them, watch them. If you don't. I'm not here to, if I'm gonna help somebody, I'm gonna do it privately. I'm not gonna tell anybody about it. This is not a helping channel, as I said before. I might be a helping person, but this channel is not about me. It's about the people that are sitting in this chair normally. So that's what's going on. I'm sorry this happened. A lot of people got confused and thought maybe I'm a scammer or a con artist. I'm not. This is just a case where this young YouTuber who's doing some irresponsible journalism decided not to get any input from me and just decided to take a story and run with it because he knew it was gonna get a lot of views, which
I do agree it's irresponsible, sure.
I take the hit on that. My reputation gets tarnished. He makes a lot of money. I mean, I guess it helps me because I make a lot of money too when people see these stories and they go to my channel to comment something terrible about how I'm evil and terrible. But that's just social media. It's frustrating, but that's the world we live in. So that's what's going on. Hopefully this helps everyone understand perfectly that every cent is going to the Whitaker family, or has been. No longer. I'm done. They've received every dime they need to get. I'm going to pay the taxes and we're done. That's what's going on. Thanks for listening.
Do you want to try to call Betty?
Oh, yeah, I can call Betty.
Or Larry. Let's just call really quick.
So he tries to call Betty here. Again, I don't know exactly what he expected. He's not going to get the greatest no matter what, he's not gonna get the greatest response. But she does say like, oh yeah, you send us money all the time, basically.
Why not?
Let's see if I can do that.
I mean, it's also, you could say it's been great and thank you. And
Let's see if you'll answer the phone.
Hello.
Hey, Betty, it's Mark.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right.
So I just want to be clear about the GoFundMe money that I've been sending you. Like how many times, like every few weeks, you'll call me to ask me for some money, correct?
Not even for every week I don't.
No, but like typically throughout the year, you're calling me many times to ask me for money.
I know that.
I'm sorry?
I know about that.
You don't know about that?
Yeah, I know I've been calling.
Yeah, I know. So I just want to make sure because like when Tyler interviewed
She said she does know about that, by the way.
you, he asked you like, what's going on with the money? And you said, I don't know. And he asked you about the house. And you said, what house? And it made it look like I'm not giving you guys money. Am I giving you guys money?
I know you've been giving money, but I didn't know you've been giving money for the house under the Mark.
Well, I told you, we talked about this, that we're going to try to generate money for our house.
I know.
Okay, but I've given you over $100,000, like in the last year or so. A couple of months over a year, like last 14 months, I've given you about $100,000. That adds up to a lot of money. You didn't mention that to Tyler.
Look at who?
Tyler's the young man that interviewed you a while back.
I know Tyler.
You don't know him.
I don't know if I can Tyler.
Okay, well, there's a video on YouTube of you talking with him, and you're saying I didn't give you any money.
So they're kind of oblivious. Like, they know their life. They're kind of oblivious of the wider, like, we exist on YouTube, and we have people that, you know, are fans or whatever. Even the first time he was kind of telling them about the GoFundMe money and the donations and stuff, they were just kind of oblivious to it. Like, somebody gave us money. They just didn't understand it. And that's hard to deal with when everybody else understands, like YouTube easily nowadays, but they just don't. They don't understand it. They even say, like, I don't know Tyler. I didn't talk to no Tyler. They don't understand that it's a bigger world that exists on YouTube that involves them, right? They have no idea that they're famous, that people watch them all the time, that millions and millions of people have seen their video. They just don't understand.
I thought you didn't know your pocket. I didn't know that.
All right, well, regardless of what the money was for, how often...
She even said, I thought you were just giving it to me all out of your pocket. I didn't know nothing.
Give you money, like every few weeks, right?
Every week you do?
Yeah, and it's about what? Like sometimes 4,000, sometimes 5, sometimes more, sometimes it's 2 or 3, right?
Right.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, good. I just wanted to clarify that. And that's all I want to do, just to make sure that we're on the same page. Because it seems like looking at Tyler's video, I don't know what page we were on, but it's a very different page.
I didn't talk to Tyler. I don't know Tyler.
Well, maybe that video was created digitally by somebody, but it looks like you talking to him. I don't know.
That's her, by the way, right there. And she was basically saying, like, what money? What house? I don't know. Mark said there wasn't no money. And at first she says, I haven't talked to Mark. And he's like, you haven't talked to Mark? She's like, oh, I talked to him like 2 weeks ago, the last time she called and asked for money.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. There's a video on YouTube of you talking to this guy talking about how I didn't give anybody any money. And I don't know where it came from. But whatever. I just want to clarify everything. Thank you for explaining.
Okay.
All right, darling. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but just because he explained it to him doesn't mean they understand. Just now, she's like, I thought that money was all out of your pocket. Of course it's not out of his pocket. I mean, you can't call him every 2 weeks and ask him for thousands of dollars out of his pocket. It's coming from the GoFundMe.
All right,
bye-bye.
Bye.
Here we go.
So I thought it was a decent response. Obviously, he's upset in it, but, I mean, that's part of it. So then Tyler does, if I don't get struck by YouTube, then Tyler kind of does a response to that, almost questioning, like, all I did was, you know, I got this platform and I asked questions, and it's kind of shady. He shut it all down. It's just weird. Here's the video.
Update on the Whitakers and Mark Laida. 1 day ago, I uploaded a video about West Virginia. In the last 7 minutes of the video, I go to the
town is very protective. They don't give out their address. Like if you go to that town and try to get their address or whatever, they don't give out their address or phone number. No one's going to show you where they live. Like, follow me, I'll show you. Like, yeah, they are pretty protective of that family.
Whitaker's house, drop off some groceries, and I asked Betty Whitaker what's going on with the house and where's the money. I'm referring to a GoFundMe set up by Mark Laida, where he raised $77,000 from the generous donations of many people watching his videos with the Whitakers, with the intent to buy.
It's also weird that he's recording all of this in the bathroom. Is that not strange? It's almost like he's on the shitter.
Buy the Whitakers a new home. The title of the GoFundMe is Help the Whitakers Purchase a New Home. Now, I asked Betty what's going on with the money. She says, Mark says we've run out of money.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if Tyler wants to be the person who's calling people out and questioning people's honor and whether they donate the money or not, then you run the GoFundMe and you deal with the phone calls and you deal with the my car's broke, now my roof, now I can't pay my electric bill, and you start trying to give this out and save for a house. There you go.
What house? What do you mean, basically? So I uploaded this to my video, and I open-endedly asked Mark, what's going on with the GoFundMe? Where's the money? I did not accuse him of doing anything. I did not call him names. I merely asked the question.
I did not accuse him of anything. You said, where's the house, Mark? Come on. if you have any honor at all, Mark, like you did kind of give backhanded accusations. Come on.
I myself was curious about, and thousands of other people in Mark's own channel have asked him, and I would imagine that includes many people who have donated to the cause, which is to help buy them a new home. Which brings me to my next point. Mark uploads a video to his channel where he says he's transferred over $100,000 worth of his viewers' donations to Betty Whitaker. There is no money left in the accounts, and they would constantly ask for the money, and he would send it to them. There's no money in the GoFundMe's left for a house, which was the entire goal of the GoFundMe. My problem with this is, A, he could have just updated the viewers every couple months, or every video with the Whitakers, hey, we're actually using these.
Sure, he could have updated people.
To keep the Whitakers alive. When they ask for it, I send it to them. That simple. The goal of getting them this house is not real, nor will it ever materialize. And just been upfront and honest with, hey, this isn't for the house. This is just for them. If you want to donate to them, here it is. Cool. I would have had no problem with that. But that's not what he did. Any donor sending money to that GoFundMe is under the impression it is going towards the larger purchase of a home, not for random living expenses that Mark will send their way in the chunks of $4,000 to $5,000 every two weeks to a month. Which if you go through the transaction, he's basically sending a couple grand every 2 weeks, every month, quite frequently. He's sending them the money as they ask. There's no money left in the GoFundMe. As the money comes in, the GoFundMe, the money goes out of the GoFundMe. Now, this is a great update. Kudos.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Tyler's video either. I think it went too far, especially on the Mark person, because Mark's helped him out so much too.
Mark for giving them the money they are in fact entitled because the donors gave the Whitakers the money, not Mark.
So he's saying, give them the money, but what you should have done is, every time you gave money, you should have updated everybody on the GoFundMe and told them, like, they called me, they said the car's broke, I gave them $5,000.
Many people are saying, I basically ruined the relationship between them, when in reality, that's between them. If Mark wants to cut them off for not maybe fully understanding the situation, and he's that frustrated that one person with a platform asked the question of what's going on with a public GoFundMe, with public funds donated to the GoFundMe.
I don't like how, again, if he wasn't accusing Mark of anything, he just wanted some questions answered like everybody else, he's getting frustrated now, which makes me think even more like he wanted to make these accusations, and now he's mad that Mark turned it around, back around on him. You know what I mean? Like, he should be the calmest one here. He should have been like, yeah, I asked the questions, they got answered, they got the money. That's fine. He could have updated us more, but I appreciate him giving them the money. Like, the way he's reacting to this video is making me like him less.
GoFundMe by strangers who care about these people. If me asking that question has elicited a response in which he cancels GoFundMe's forever because it calls into question what? The timeline in which he intends on giving these people the money? His ethics? What's going on? Genuinely, I'm asking a very basic update question of, hey, there's a lot of people that have donated to this GoFundMe. What's going on with the money? Pure, simple, cut and dry. Didn't accuse him of being a scammer. Didn't call many names. I merely asked what was going on here. Mark's frustration is that I didn't email him personally, which I asked him open-endedly on the video, and we now have this update. So it has taken.
So again, that's not an answer. That's not a response to that. He says Mark's frustration is that I didn't email him personally, which I asked him on the video. Said, "Where's the house, Mark?" As if Mark was the problem. I said, if you have any honor at all, Mark, as if Mark was the problem. Like that's not a replacement for emailing him and saying, hey, I'm going to interview him, or I did interview him. We got questions about the GoFundMe. Would you like to make a statement on what's going on with the GoFundMe? That's not a replacement for that.
All this time and all of this money for me to ask one question that he's now responded to, and we now all.
That's like telling somebody, like, somebody's like, why didn't you ask me if you could drive my car? And you're like, well, I took it and I wrecked it. And then when I called and asked you for the insurance, you should have known that I had your car. Come on. Like, I said, I wrecked your car. I need your insurance information. Didn't you know I had your car then?
All have clarity that the GoFundMe to get them a home was never going to happen. He's been sending them their money the entire time, which is good and expected. And honestly, if he was just a little bit transparent with, hey, here's the update, guys. Here's how your money's being spent. Keep in mind, this isn't his money that he's spending.
Again, he's I don't like his frustration in this video. He should be the calmest person. He should have thought this through. Like, I understand Mark's frustration. I really do. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Mark. But I understand Mark's frustration with trying to help somebody and you're getting beat up about it. He should be the calmest person in any of these videos right now. He said, all I had was questions, and your questions were answered with receipts. So you should be super calm, being like, oh, okay, well. But I'm assuming his frustration is coming from people saying, like, good job, you piece of shit. Now they don't even have Mark. You destroyed that relationship. But it comes off bad in this video.
He is the manager of the funds donated to the GoFundMe for them. If he just said that update, me and so many other people would not have been so confused and asked the question. I just asked the question of what was going on. His response is obvious frustration and the receipt showing the transfers, which that's good.
There's sometimes that it's good to use. Here's two examples. One, this one. It would be good for him to use, because this video is going to go out to so many people, because the questions he did ask, because the questions that were brought up, it would be good to use his influence to, like, I probably couldn't get an answer from Mark. I'm a nobody. This guy has almost 6 million subscribers. He could have gotten an answer from Mark if he'd emailed him, I'd say. That's a good time to use your influence, especially when you're going to be putting out a video before you put it out. There's also times where using your influence is bad. Like, let's say I have a bad experience with a company. If I have a bad experience with a company that makes a computer, and I have 6 million subscribers, and I call them and say, hey, you know, I'm a YouTuber, got 6 million subscribers, and they fix it right away. But if you, the regular person, or me, the regular person with no YouTube channel, call them, and they give me the runaround, or won't answer the phone, or won't replace it, or won't fix it, that's a bad example of when influence gets something done. But if you're going to be making a story and printing this out, that would be good. I think you should have contacted him.
Thank God he's actually sent them the money. I think that's great. I think this easily could have been avoided if he just provided an adequate update here and there. But the people are sending him their money with the expectation that it went towards a house. They were in the dark. No one knew how this was being allocated until I asked this question. No one knew what was happening with the money. No one knew.
Again, if he knows about them, I feel like, just from the videos I've watched of them and what I know about them, that if I go there and ask them, hey, how's the accounting looking? You know, how much money's in the bank? How much money's in the GoFundMe? How much money have you been donated? How much money's going to the house? I'm not going to get an answer. I feel like he should have known before he even traveled there. If he's ever seen their videos, he should have known they're not the people to ask about the money. It's one thing to ask, like, hey, you getting some money? Mark been taking care of you, sending you some money or updating on your GoFundMe. It's another thing to be like, where's the money at? What about the money for the house? Where'd it go? Have you talked to Mark? Is he, like, investigating with them? You're not going to get a reasonable answer out of them, I don't think.
What was going on? I think it is our job to ask these questions, even if they're a bit uncomfortable. I think he's frustrated we didn't ask him directly, but what he's doing with these people, generating videos with tens of millions of views, generating tens of thousands of dollars for them, obligates a certain level of responsibility where he updates people occasionally.
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't mind donating my time either, even if it's like even if it is somebody that I know is like, if I gave them money, they'd go buy drugs or alcohol or whatever and just wallow in their addictions. I don't mind donating my time.
On how their money is being spent. Shout out to Mark for actually giving them the money, but a simple update of, we're not going to get a house. We are out.
Dude, my buddy the other day got burnt big talking about donating time. So his cousin called him and said, oh my God, you know my boyfriend? And he's like, yeah. He's like, my boyfriend's sister just got in a bad wreck. She's being airlifted down to Vanderbilt. And my boyfriend's mom's going to come pick us up and take us to the hospital. But we need to be taken like 45 minutes in that direction. Okay? So he's like, oh, shit, yeah. Hey, he's got his, he grabs his shit, hops his car, takes off, goes and picks him up. Well, he picks them up. They get in the car. It's like the middle of the night. It's probably like 11 o'clock or so. He picks them up and he leaves their house. When he leaves their house, he notices like a pickup truck pulls out right behind him. Like a pickup truck was like backed in the driveway, turned on the headlights, pulled out behind him. Well, that pickup truck follows them for a long time. The way they go, which they take a couple turns. I know exactly the road they were on. I can't really describe it to you guys, but they basically go through a town, red lights, turns. Pickup truck keeps following them. They start heading towards the county line, like down by our river. And then there's like this road called 107. It's like a real long, straight stretch. And they hop on that road. That's the way they're supposed to be going. It's like a real long, straight road with just farms on either side. And they get down to where they cross the county line. And about a mile after they cross the county line, there is a deputy from that county coming at them. And they're driving. Now, this road, I think it's a 50-mile-an-hour speed zone. But you can run 70. There's like no traffic. It's just a bunch of farms. Like, it's very hard to get pulled over on this road. So he said he wasn't really even speeding that bad. I think he said he was doing 55 or 60. And as soon as he passed this deputy, it flipped around on him and pulled him over. Deputy comes up to the side of the car, pulled him over, says his registration, his tag and registration aren't right. They're not coming back right. Asks him to step out of the car, steps everybody out of the car, gets everybody out of the car in cuffs. And when he gets them all in cuffs, the pickup truck that was following them earlier pulls up. 2 more deputies from our county, a different county, pull up, and another unmarked. I think he ends up with like 6 cop cars there because another Greene County cop shows up. And they start questioning him about, you know, firearms and drugs. They take a dog around his car and shit. And the whole time, his cousin and boyfriend are dead silent. Dead, so they haven't said a word. They're like, oh, this is crazy, you know. Come to find out that cousin's boyfriend was part of a ring of people that were breaking into people's cars and homes and stealing firearms. And one of them may have even been involved in a thought the person wasn't home. They were home and pulled a gun and shot at them, and they shot back. And they were skipping town. There was no accident with the boyfriend's sister. There was no car wreck. They were skipping town because they knew the cops were moving in on them and got him tied up. And I would have been a mad motherfucker, dude. It's one thing for someone to call me up and be like, "Hey, man, stuff's going bad. I think the fucking cops might. I just need a ride." Something like that. That's one thing. But to play dumb and pull on your heartstrings and be like, you know, my sister's in a car wreck. I gotta have a ride. Blah blah blah. And then keep playing dumb once you get pulled over. Oh, I'd have been so mad. And he's a firearm enthusiast like I am, so he ends up having like 3 guns in the car. I bet you they thought they hit the jackpot when they start pulling guns out of that son of a bitch.
Getting the money bi-weekly whenever they ask for it, and they're spending it however they desire. That's all we would have needed. And the people can then make the decision to... Hey,
I think they were on the side of the road.
And however
they were on the side of the road for 2 hours, and boyfriend gets, not my buddy, but his cousin's boyfriend gets locked up, taken away. He made bail in a few hours, but he got arrested as part of the investigation.
Or I'm not going to donate to them because they might spend it on something that's not a house, and I don't agree with that. We have to give the viewers and the donors transparency to allow them to make the decision of how their money is being spent. With that being said, I currently have a GoFundMe in the link in the description of the West Virginia video. I donated $10,000 of my money personally. There's also a couple $1,000s in there currently raised for the Whitakers. The initial goal of combining whatever I raised with Mark's GoFundMe is now no longer obviously possible because he's given them all the money. I would imagine it's all spent. If we raise enough money to get them a house, we'll get them a house.
Ask Bart for, hey, Marianne Mann, what's up? Welcome, Marianne Mann. I have said your name so many times. I am so glad. First of all, I cuss. I say funny, horrible things. I just want you to know right off, if you don't like my show, I don't blame you a bit. It's probably not your cup of tea. Second of all, I am so glad that you woke up to Bart playing Christian. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you were there like on the ball, right? Calling out every one of his links, his website. Let's donate to Bart. I mean, you were a trooper for him, for real. And then he wants to show his ass to you and laugh. It like I don't get upset about cursing. Obviously, I curse quite a bit. But the fact that you were like vulgar language and he put a laugh emote, it made me mad. It made me mad. I am so glad. Good job. Here's a little Bart for you. There you go. That's all yours. That's all for you there, Marianne, man. Congratulations. I'm glad that you got out of there. He's a shitty person.
If we don't, we'll figure out the second best means of increasing their quality of life, whatever that may look like. I'm not sure how much money we'll raise, but the GoFundMe still stays up till the end of the month. By the end of the month, you guys will have an update on what we plan to do.
We're about to see how much he raised for them.
On how we use that money. If you want to refund
I guarantee you, Bart probably doesn't even know where all the money went. He's lost so much because there's no what like. I stream. Not only do I stream, I help other people set up their streams. I've bought complete I've been flown to people's houses and said, okay, that room's my studio. I have nothing. I need you to put everything in it to where I can have a professional live stream and set that up for people. I have no idea where all his money went. that he couldn't be paying his rent. That is crazy.
Donation, do it. Mark, I would implore you to have another conversation with Betty and mend this broken bridge. My involvement has nothing to do with it. Your reaction to this is of your own accord. I never intended this to be a personal attack towards Mark. I think it was a very reasonable question that I and many other people had of what's going on with this money. What's the update? His response to all this is...
Mariah just shut up. Mariah, guess who's in chat? Why are you acting sad? Okay, well, do that not in my jacket. Thank you. I bet. It hates you. Mariah got a cat today against all of my wishes and complaining and screaming and shouting and denial. But she's here now. She said she drank her milk too fast and she's got an upset tummy.
Is interesting. If one person with a voice elicited this reaction, I'm not sure what to make of that. But to Mark's credit, the money was sent. Whatever amount of money we raised by the end of this month will be sent to the Whitakers with receipts and videos. Thanks for watching.
So that's him. He says, all of mine's going to be sent there with receipts. I want to see what his GoFundMe's at. I mean, see, his GoFundMe's at 17. I bet you he has to feel kind of shitty that he got Mark and these people separated. And Mark had raised them, $50, $60, $100,000, $130,000 minus taxes. And all he raises $16,000 with his bigger channel. He's got to feel bad about that, right? And he's only running his for 30 days. He said, in 30 days, if there's enough to buy a house, we'll buy a house. And if there's not, we'll just give it to him. What do you think they're going to do if he ends up with like $50,000 and just gives it to him? Do you think any of it's going to go to savings or fixing up their home? Probably not. Right. There is an issue with this just in the general population. When you take somebody that's never had money before, you see it a lot of times in athletes, not because they're raised or whatever, but just in athletes in general. When you take somebody basically out of like a hood, whether that's a trailer park or whether that's, downtown Atlanta or Chicago or whatever, when you take somebody out of whatever ghetto they grew up in, never had money, never managed money, never saved money, and you give them millions of dollars or a large amount of money, they don't know how to handle it, right? They don't know how to save it. They don't know how to prepare for the future. They don't know how to manage it or where to store. Like they just end up spending it, and it just gets shitty. It ends up shitty situations, and it's really not their fault. Like, when you have money, you learn so much about, school doesn't teach us that much about money, but when you have money or have family that has money, you learn so much about money. And when you grow up poor, you just learn that it's something you don't have. And when you have it, you buy things. And when you don't, you do without. It's not really their fault, but I don't think they're going to manage the money well if they don't raise them for a house and they just give them, whatever. 30,000, 50,000. I don't think they're going to manage it well. And he kind of messed up the relationship that they were already in. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Shout out to all the grannies leaving Bert. That's right. Get out of there. Get it, Granny. That's actually a video of Dr. J. I don't even know if you guys know that. That is Dr. J. That's Bert. For some reason, tugging on his belt there. But that's a video. Oh, Bert's back again. It's a couple Berts. So look out. That's a video of Dr. J. She sent that in as part of a special collection. Bert has been making some predictions. I don't know if we read this. I was going to read this the other night. I don't think we did. So we watched this video. That's from 2 days ago. That was after his big fight with all of his followers. He's brainwashed so many people. He has people coming to apologize to him because they don't want to see vulgarity in someone they follow because they don't follow Bert. Like, you understand, if you follow me, you're going to hear cuss words. If you follow Bert playing super Christian when he needs donations, you don't expect to see that, shoved down your throat. But he's got people apologizing to him. Yeah, this is Carol Smith says, Bert First of all, it's none of my business what you post on your page. Sure. But just saying like, well, that was vulgar is not saying you're taking away his freedom of speech, right? I should have just scrolled past it and not made a comment. You are your own man and don't need my opinion to be expressed. I truly am sorry for popping in. I value our friendship. Again, I am truly sorry for butting in. God bless. When the person who should have been apologizing, this is how messed up their minds are. The person that should have been apologizing is Bert, saying, I know that's not my typical content. I know that's not what you expect to see, especially when I'm like telling you about God and how God needs you to donate to me so I can pay my bills, and God's got it all. And the plan is I'm going to sing and God's going to tell you to donate. The person who should have been apologizing is Bert. But they've got this backwards mentality where it's basically like almost like hero worship. And the people who are offended are apologizing to Bert. Bert says, forgiven and forgotten. With much love, thank you for being an adult and a good person. As if the people who didn't like Bert's reaction are bad people, of course. And it says, for being a good person. I'm not a person who gets through life without making a mistake now and again. And I'm fortunate to have friends like you. Thank you and God bless. Oh, my God. Mariah wants y'all to see her cat. Jesus, no one's asking. This is Mariah's cat. His name is Lana. Lana. There you go. It's not a shadow, but it's the closest we could get. Okay, on short notice. I do have some black shoe polish that I was planning to donate to Bert so he could keep his hair as black as shadow, but I guess I'm going to have to use it on the cat now. Thanks a lot. Oh, I forgot to show this the other day. Somebody sent me a meme about Bert. You remember when he was casting us out like demons? Let me see if I could find it. Here it is. My first exorcism kit. It looks just like him. You have to you have to admit it looks just like him. If somebody made this meme, it is Fisher Price's My First Exorcism Kit. It's got all the crucifixes, a battle axe, a cutting board, a beer bottle opener for some reason, a briefcase. It's got everything, right? A pitchfork, and it looks just like Bert. We should save up, and when we send him all the socks, we should get him one of those stiff white collars that the priests wear. That'd work out. He looks when he like belts out and he's got his eyeliner on. I understand why, like back in the 60s and 70s with the Satanic Panic, they talked about people with eyeliner on. I get it now. It's all because of Bert. It's all because of Bert. Not to mention his friend James, who's also a scammer. Anyways, Bert was making some predictions the other night. So he says Trump sweeps Super Tuesday. You want that taco thing? No, you buy. Trump sweeps Super Tuesday by a landslide. I'm going to spend the night working on some computer issues and order. I guess he meant in order to do a better show tomorrow. I will post tomorrow's show time as soon as I know it. God bless you. God bless. See you soon. Again with the God bless, but he has no qualms about telling somebody to kick rocks because I like to cuss on my page when I think it's funny, or laughing at someone who's like, hey, that's kind of vulgar language there. We're all adults here, hun. Oh, man. That ran all over me, and I'm not even involved in his community. So then he does a live stream that we watched where he talks about everybody in the cat and the debacle, calls us out, shares some Tucker Carlson, shares a video about a man saving a dog, I guess, on the railroad tracks. They just barely get away. I guess the leash was tied up on the railroad tracks. Then we get this one. This is his prediction he had. I suspect something weird is about to happen. Watch for an announcement that the president is unavailable to give the State of the Union speech tonight because of health reasons. I have a feeling that they're afraid to send him out there. What are the odds? I think he got really good reviews from like nonpartisan people in the State of the Union, but let's see what the comments were. Something weird is happening. I didn't have that on my bingo card. Wow, that really could happen. Didn't. We shall see. It will be interesting. Well, he is there. Not sure if he will ever make it to the front of the room. Laugh out loud. Hi, gorgeous Shadow. That cat is a donation token. He's literally like, oh, people wanted to see you, Shadow, so they send in these donations and show up. Oh, you're clawing me, biting me, I'm bleeding. You're trying to get away. Just stay for a minute while everybody's here. He is giving it, and it is beyond deal. Senator Katie Britt is amazing. They should have asked Trump, too. Nothing weird happened. It was a great speech by President Joe Biden. Oh, that's gonna make people mad. Wanda says the fake Biden was yelling a lot of stupid lies to make his followers happy. He was saying the economy is great and that Ukraine can win the war if we give them more help and money. Plus, he said he would reverse Roe v. Wade if it is sent to his desk. The Speaker of the House, which is the way, the reason the Roe v. Wade should, if you're in favor of Roe v. Wade, you don't have to be. You can be against it. You could be against it for sure. I sent it to Burton Messenger. That's funny, Marianne. That's very funny. You can be against Roe v. Wade, that's for sure, but it shouldn't be a Supreme Court decision. I think that people that supported Roe v. Wade sat back and said, "Oh, the Supreme Court settled it. It should be a law." That's within Congress, right? That should be a law. If they're going to pass a law, they should pass it in Congress at the federal level. It shouldn't be a Supreme Court decision. If it is sent to his desk. The Speaker of the House just kept shaking his head no while sitting behind Biden while the VP was standing up, smiling, and clapping all the time. I love the Alabama Senator's GOP response. There you go. That was the comments on his incorrect prediction. Now, he was supposed to have the other scammer on from SNTV. I do not believe that SNTV is a real thing. You can use Kiki. Oh, Lana. I can use Lana for donations. SNTV cannot be real. Or something that they told people is a lie. It can be real, but you can't tell me that SNTV, with the following that it's got, on their radio page, on their main page, on their holdings page, on their parent company page, you can't tell me that they were going to give Bert between $5,000 and $10,000 an episode. They don't make that kind of money. The only way that would be sustainable is if it was like Jeff Bezos, and he's like, so YouTube's a good example, right? YouTube just recently started making money in the realm of how long YouTube's been along. Like in the last 2 years, they've been turning a profit. They were losing money as big as YouTube is. They were losing money to corner the market on video search engine, basically. They just recently started making money. So you can't tell me that 14 people, none of them like, none of them comment, none of them react to any post from SNTV, and somehow they've got ad revenue. They've got ad revenue coming in to pay Bert between $5,000 and $10,000 a show. Not a week, not a show. Per show. What is this? Somebody just sent me an image. Fictitious name detail. Sunbiz.org, Division of Corporations, Ohio, the official state of Florida. Fictitious name detail. Burkhart Media Group. Registration number G2000000. 8155. Status active. File date January 17th, 2020. Expiration date is 12/31/2025. Current owners 1 in Collier County, COLLIER. Total pages 2. Events filed 1. FEI. They don't even have an EIN number. They don't even have an IRS employee identification number. Employer identification number. It has their mailing address, and it says Burkhart James K. And it's the same. It's the same as his home address. Let me look this address up and see if it's a business address. Give me just a second. Burkhart Media Group. It's just some guy's computer where he streams. It's in Naples, Florida, where he streams old, non-copywritten Christian music around. Yeah, it's 100% his house. This is the SNTV's world headquarters, right here. It's their world headquarters. You heard it here first, folks. The world headquarters of SNTV. Jeez Louise. Wow. Wow. They're going to pay Bert between $5,000 and $10,000 a show. And he's got to have a $100,000 studio to do it. You know, I could build, besides the fact that it's that weird dome shape, I could build Joe Rogan's studio for less than $100,000. His old studio before he went to the toaster, I guarantee you I could build that for less than $100,000. It was a freaking table, some fucking heavy sheets hung up to catch the echo to work as bass traps, one computer, one big screen, and 2 microphones. I could build Joe Rogan. The microphones are $400 a piece. It's got the main camera and 2 auxiliary cameras that are lower quality. I could build Joe Rogan's studio. Minus, I wouldn't be able to buy the building, obviously. But if I had a space, let's say I'm renting it or whatever, I could build it for less than $100,000. What the hell was Bert building? Well, he's going to have live music. Was that required of you? You had to have it set up to have 12-member bands perform? If it was going to be bringing in all this money, why didn't you just set it up as a podcast studio and then wait until your first 3 episodes? There's another $30,000. What are you talking about? Hey, there's Derek Bumper in the chat. What's up, Bump? My buddy Derek Bumper is on his way to becoming a millionaire. He has hit the ticket on social media marketing. It seems he's killing it, dude. He advertises. He does funny skit videos and different videos or whatever on Instagram, and it was on TikTok. Now it's on Instagram, and uses it to advertise for a really good company that does sell dope. That does like credit repair. And damn, if he is killing it, dude. He is killing it. Every time I see an update, I think, damn, that dude's killing it. It's just insane how much growth he's had and stuff. Using comedy videos to sell a product that people actually need and want, like not like a grift, like Phil sells collector silver or whatever, but like a product people actually are looking for already, and a better product. A lot of times you get recommended like Lexington Law and shit. Those don't seem to have, I don't have any personal issues with them, but it doesn't seem like they have the greatest reviews a lot of times. Plus, there's some credit repair companies that basically sign you up and then have you do all the work. If I'm going to sign up and pay you to do something, it seems like you would be doing the work. But anyways, he does good. Just memes, no skits, just memes. I know your TikTok. When I was keeping up with your TikTok, I do follow your Instagram. I'm just hardly ever on Instagram. When I was keeping up with your TikTok, some of those skits were hilarious about auto dealers and about Rev and about all the different characters you had. Those are good. And then I thought it was an amazing marketing. Every time I saw a big fat ass in Facebook stories, that's the clickbait. That's the clickbait for days, dude. You see like a scantily clad woman up there, and you're like, do I know her? Am I related to her? Who is that? Who is that right there? And you click on it, and it's a credit repair thirst trap. Killing it, dude. A credit repair thirst trap. All right, back to the show. So this is SNTV's headquarters with James Burkhart Media Group. It's nothing. It has no followers. It has no engagement. It has no viewership. And when I say no, obviously I'm not saying zero. Like, we did see one post that had 2 likes on it. If I'm making social media posts and I'm getting 2 likes on those posts as a media group, where the hell am I getting $30,000 a week to pay a podcaster that I'm bringing on? Where? Where's the money coming from? I would be more convinced if you told me that Bert was laundering money for the mafia. That would make more sense, right? Bert has 40 viewers. Tell me what company is going to pay you $5,000 to advertise their product, or $10,000 even, to advertise their product to 40 people. If you use the 10% rule, right? Every step you take when you're trying to get somebody to sign up for something, let's say they have to click a link, they have to put in their email, then they have to check their inbox and verify their account. Every step you take, you get about 10% of people to go through. So if you got 40 people watching your show, on average, you're going to get about 4 people to click the link. If there is a single other step besides clicking the link, you're not going to have a single person go through on average. You're going to have 0.4 people, less than half of a person each show. So whatever you're selling must be a multiples, hundreds of thousands of dollars if you're paying $10,000 to get half a person per show. There's no way. This is a scam from the get-go. He didn't need $100,000 to build a studio. Imagine getting donations in excess of $100,000 to build your podcast studio, and you get kicked out of the house that your podcast studio's in because you didn't pay $12,000 in rent. What is going on with that? He's got to be gambling or drinking it away. He's got to be. There's not any other options. That's it. He's gambling or he's drinking it away. And with him being in Vegas, if you gamble, you get a drink for free. So that basically just leaves gambling. If he drinks, right, it would be silly of him to pay drinks. He can just go sit in front of a slot machine and drink for free, right? I make my money back up on the beverages, all the money that I'm fixing to lose. It doesn't make any sense. The whole thing was a scam from the get-go. I feel sorry for the people who donated it to him, especially the people that he promised guaranteed returns to. That's not a thing. He cannot guarantee you that you're going to make 10% back. And then he said that the problem is you guys fell in love with him. You guys fell in love with him, so he had to cut you off. He's celibate. So you guys fell in love with him. That's your problem. And he wants to point out, you haven't lost your money yet. You just haven't made a dime. Right? You invested $85,000. I told you would have 10% guaranteed return on that within a couple months, and it's just been a year and you haven't made a dime. So technically you didn't lose it. Jerkin is not celibate. I could name my hand celibate. Let's go back to his page. After the State of the Union speech that was late starting and ran very long, and the response by Katie Brett, it is just too late to do a live tonight, so I will cover it on my next show. Also, Facebook is muting most of my music on playback with fake copyright claims. Now, I want to talk about this. These are not fake copyright claims, right? These are not fake copyright claims. He thinks since he's singing the lyrics, they're fake copyright claims. But when you have music, not only are the vocals copywritten, the track is copywritten. When he plays their tracks, I don't care if he clicks on karaoke or not, it's still copywritten. That might be fine for like your karaoke at home. You want to download a CD full of, instruments only and the lyrics, a lyric video, a karaoke video. That's not good for when you're out here begging for money and trying to make money off of it. Yeah, go see the doctor if you need to, for sure. I don't know what's going on. Go see the doctor if you need to. Yeah, this doesn't add up. You can't play their music. That's a copyright claim, Bert. I don't care who sings it or how you do your Elvis impersonation. His music is still copywritten. And if you're going to do it on Facebook, Facebook mutes that segment of it. Also, Facebook is muting most of my music playback on with fake copyright claims, so most folks would miss half the show on replay. Rumble, here we come. Date for the move to be announced. We are talking days, not weeks. Thank you for hanging here with me. So he's planning on moving to Rumble. Now, what me and another person were talking about is that his planned move to Rumble, so he says, sorry, not tonight. He's not going live tonight. Is his planned move to Rumble another scam? Is he going to say like, well, we got to move to Rumble. That means we will have these fees and I have to pay this and I need some new software and the camera doesn't work with the Rumble stuff. Is that another scam? We'll have to wait and see. He shouldn't need any money to move to Rumble. Before, months ago, I think it was last year, probably the summer of last year, I tried to listen to the replay of Please Come to Boston, and yes, that part of the show was muted. Yeah, because the music's copywritten. Are you going live tonight? If so, when? Sorry, not tonight. Before, I think it was the summer of last year, they announced that anybody could live stream on Rumble. You used to have to at least have like the $9.99 a month package to live stream. They've since taken that away. You do not need that package. It's unlimited live streaming for basically everyone. Everyone can do unlimited live streaming if that's what you want to do. And that's it. You're good. You don't need anything. So I'm wondering what he's going to say. The only thing that you don't have access to is the API, and I don't even think he knows what that is. To have API access. But yeah, you can do unlimited usage, unlimited live stream. You're good to go. $0 now. They started that back in the summer, I think. Let's go look at his Rumble, right? Bert's got to have a big following. I bet you he has a big following on Rumble, right? So if you go and search Bert Lynch, there's two different channels on the Washed Up Lounge Singer. There's two different channels he's got. One, now listen, again, he's going to have an audience. That brings in advertisers that are willing to pay between $5,000 and $10,000 an episode. Okay? The biggest deal I've ever done, was I probably made $5,000 on an episode. I probably made $5,000 on a deal. It was probably several episodes. But I probably made $5,000 on a deal. And that was one of the deals I was set up. I had a guarantee. I think I had a guarantee of $1,200. And then you guys signed up for a bunch of games. It ended up paying out weird. It paid out the first 90 days after completion. I got $1,200. It was probably more like $3,800. Probably wasn't even $5,000. I probably got $1,200 the first time. Then 90 days after that, I got everybody that signed up, a fee for them. Then 90 days after that, I got everybody that made it to a certain level. You guys remember the zombie puzzle game that we played or whatever that I had a sponsorship for? It was that one. And it ended up paying out over 3, 6, 9 months. I think it paid $3,800. That was probably, somewhere between $3,800, maybe close to $5,000. I don't think it got to be that much. I can go look, but that was over 3, 6, 9 months to get paid out. But it was a week of streaming that I got paid for. And that was the only one I've been offered that big of a guarantee, the $1,200, $1,300 guarantee or whatever it was. That's been over a year ago. I'm still playing Macarena. That was a good one, Chris. So Burt Lynch is going to command an audience that brings in advertisers that are going to pay between $5,000 and $10,000 per episode, talking upwards of $30,000 a week, possibly. And he has, if you go to this channel, he has 153 followers. But the problem with this channel, damn, I wish you were closer, Marianne, man. I've got hundreds of nitro pills for chest pain. Where my dad passed away back in September. We all carried, I have hundreds of pills. I probably got 20 bottles of it, but we all carried bottles of it just in case he went into chest pain. I had a bottle. My mom, my dad carried one with them. There's one in every vehicle. Like, we got tons of that shit. So if you go to this one, he's got 153 followers. But what about his views? They're probably amazing, right? 200, 55, 32, 26, 23, 39, 43, 57, 53, 105. You want to know what's even worse about this, Bert? This isn't even your channel anymore. This isn't even the channel you're uploading to is not the one with 153 subscribers. It's not the one with a couple hundred views. It's this one with 16 followers. You just uploaded 2 days ago here. So it's not even the channel with 153 followers. It's the one with 16 followers. 63 views, 200 views, 62 views. And we know Rumble's views numbers are inflated. We've seen how they collect a view quicker and they hold on to live viewers longer. They seem to be slightly inflated. And he still can't break 1,000 views. Show me another podcaster that averages, hold on. I want to be accurate here. 63 plus 209 plus 62 equals divided by 3. So show me a podcaster that averages 100 views. 100 views that makes $10,000 per episode. That makes $5,000 per episode. Oh, is this that's your all's truth page? So Bert isn't uploading at all? He hasn't uploaded in 23 days? Is that what you're telling me? All right, let's take his last week of uploads then. 214 plus 55 plus 32 plus... So he hasn't uploaded in over a month. 26 plus 23. You got an awesome channel here. Divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Show me a podcaster that averages 70 views. That averages 70 views. 70 views. That gets $10,000 an episode. That gets $1,000 an episode. That gets paid anything at all. 70 views is his average. And you may think I'm being disingenuous. Hell, I mean, he doesn't get that much better on these. 257 comments, 42 likes. Why would it not show me his views? Let's click on it.
In the room.
Will it show me eyeballs? Oh, 1,000 views. 1,000 views on a Facebook video. Now, Facebook is easy to get views on, right? If you just scroll by and it's in your news feed, you got it.
Live? It says we're live.
1,000 views.
Everything works.
$1.4. So show me someone who averages 1,000 views that gets paid. You're not going to find them. You're not going to find, he could be averaging 10,000 views and get paid a couple $100. But he's claiming he's getting, this company is going to pay him for advertising 5,000 to 10,000. This one only has 900 views. 5,000 to $10,000 an episode? Bullshit. It's not happening. No company could afford that. Let's say on his very best, he got 1,400 views. If we use the 10% rule and he drops a link and asks people to click it, right? That'd be 140 people. Now, when they get there, they don't just have to click it. They've got to buy something. So let's say they have to add it to their cart. That's 14 people. Then let's say after they add it to their cart, they have to check out. That's a reasonable thing, right? You have to click the link. You have to add it to your cart. You have to check out. That's 3 steps. That's 1.4 people. That's 1.4 people. What company pays $10,000 for you to sell 1.4 items? I don't even try to push my Facebook. Facebook's the only platform that Bird's streaming to. I don't even try to push my platform. And my last video got 1,800. Let's see what this one is. The one before that got 1,100. I actively try to run people off Facebook and bring them to Twitch. 1,100. And it's muted, just like Bert's. I probably played some copywritten music. My Phil shows average over 200 or 2,000. That Phil Godlewski's name's got him in there, don't it? Let me make sure that's accurate with the, because I was on post reach. Yeah, it's about the same. One was 1348 and the other one was 1388. So it's off by 40 people. How is he getting paid? There's no way he's getting this money. No company could survive like that. No podcaster could earn that type of money, and no advertiser would pay it. If I'm paying you, listen, if I'm paying you $10,000 to sign up one person or 1.5 people per episode, how much does my item that I'm selling have to cost? Because if we start getting to items that are like hundreds of thousands of dollars to make it make sense, then the numbers go down even more because it's a luxury item. So not only did Bert lie to you about this opportunity, about how much he needed for the studio, about him getting ready, about your guaranteed returns, but then he brought on the James guy, James Burkhart from Burkhart Media Group. He brought on that guy to lie to you as well. He's not confused and thinks he has a real company that's going to pay Bert $10,000 an episode. How could he be so dumb? He's got to be able to see the financials of his own episode, right? I know someone else just emailed me about that too, Sandeep. I just saw it that I need to go back and cover Jason Shurka because he's selling a super expensive cancer cure, right? Oh my God, thank you for the, I just got a private donation that came through. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. If you guys want to support the stream, you can do that at coldbeer.fund, coldbeer.fund, and all the links on the left-hand side. I don't typically take advertisers. I can at times, and we do when we can. But usually the show is funded by viewers like you. If you want to make a contribution, go to coldbeer.fund. Instead of .com, you put in .fund, fund, and it's just my website I own. But I don't get your credit card information or nothing. You click on one of these links. Buy me a coffee is one of them. It looks like this. You leave a text-based message. Dono clip is for audio or video messages if you want them to play on the show. And then this little yellow button at the bottom is anonymous. If you don't want your name on the screen, you don't want none of that going on, you click the yellow button at the bottom. Yeah, I need to go cover Jason Shurka again, I guess. You know, he's in with Scott McKay at the, hold on. Scott McKay and a couple other doctors that are down in, or a couple other people that are down in outside of Houston at this place, Terra Quantum Healing. Terra Quantum Healing. You must become a member to book a session. Click on the link below to sign up today. Pay the one-time $10 fee to join. Once you join, you can book your session by the hour, purchase one of our exclusive membership savings plans, or schedule an overnight. They're selling quantum healing down in Texas. And Jason Shurka's part of this, I'm almost positive. Hold on. It shows everybody's involved here somewhere. Right there he is. Watch it on YouTube. But that's him sitting on the couch, isn't it? Guys, there's no such thing as quantum healing. Is it? They're just sticking quantum in front of everything. For quite some time now, my attention has been captivated by medbed technology. Medbed technology is a form of technology that has very wide healing capabilities. After a long search coupled with proper guidance and some incredible experiences, I am confident that I have found technology that emulates medbed technology. So it's just like a medbed, or maybe even better. And the good news is it is in the right hands. You know, Scott McKay got he took his dad on tour with him, got his dad COVID, and while his dad was in the hospital dying, Scott McKay was down in Louisiana fighting with his family and doctors and his dad's doctors to send him to a vibrational healing center in Louisiana. Come on, guys. You might not agree with the treatment they use for COVID, but you want your dad not able to breathe. He has a stroke from it. You want your dad to go down and watch a bunch of TV screens in a lawn chair while he listens to buzzing on a couple speakers from a boombox. I just get the interview. I'm not reading a novel.
With my favorite toys, which were Geiger counters and gyroscopes, and healing all the animals on the farm.
There it is. There's the TVs you watch right there while they play some buzzings. The first one that Scott McKay wanted his dad to go to, this one's nicer, obviously. You saw the website for it. Let's see. They have any pictures? Scott McKay, Dr. Sandra Rose Michael, our Dr. E System, Sessions, Frequently Asked Questions. I thought they had pictures of it somewhere. Maybe it's on Scott's page. But it's nicer. But the one that he wanted to check his dad into, you had to bring your own lawn chair. They didn't even have chairs in it. You had to bring your own lawn chair.
So I was very blessed in that my parents were both hyper genius.
Nasara Gasara Quantum Maga Kofifi 5D Healing Center and car wash.
Mensa. I grew up with all the gifts of the Mensa, support for development, and coming and going. My mother was working on the bomb. My dad did stealth bombers and worked on Mach 3. And I'm going, how do we heal? How do we bring healing to the world? How do we heal all of this? And so that was what my quest has been. And I started in chiropractic, reflexology, nutrition, Ayurveda, acupressure, 1971. And so there's that whole background of really focusing on how do we bring healing. But also,
this is a grift. I don't understand how people don't see this as a grift. Now, I will tell you, there are many, many documented studies about the placebo effect and studies about just having a positive attitude. If you have a positive attitude, you feel better, right? Not to mention placebo studies, they've had people just with the right mindset thinking they were being healed, and something miraculous in their body happens and heals it. So you're going to find either testimonials of people who are like, I can't believe I paid hundreds of dollars just sat in a fucking lawn chair in front of this TV that are just going to be like, oh, yeah, it was great. I've never felt better. And you're going to find other people that want to believe in it so much that they're going to give it a good review. And you're going to find people that genuinely experience the placebo effect and they feel better about it. What you're not going to find is any people, very few people, that anybody in the world of science can sit down and be like, oh, yeah, staring at this TV and listening to some buzzing on some speakers and some white noise, healed your black lung. It's amazing. It just doesn't happen, okay? It just doesn't happen like that. This is a grift. Scott McKay's involved in it. Dr. Sandra Rose Michaels, fucking grifter from way back. Jason Circa is now selling a $20,000 cancer treatment. This is a joke. Is that Scott's wife? No. Scott's wife is, I'll show it to you before we go. I got to wrap up, but I'll show it to her to you. I still got some pictures of her. Hold on. This one. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was just Scott McKay. I apologize for that. I apologize. Scott McKay's wife is like she's kind of like a fitness person. So she is a woman, but she doesn't have a lot of the features that a traditional woman may have. Okay, she doesn't have a lot of those features. Instead, because she strives for a bodybuilder type physique, she has some very different features. Let me just grab a picture of her. I don't want to try to describe it anymore. Sorry, I'll find her in a second. Oh. I might have to go to my phone. It won't let me search here. Hold on. I know I've got pictures ever downloaded. I just can't find them right now. They're in a folder. Let me see here. All right. I just have to get her account name. Just give me a second. She's not hard to recognize. And I know the hashtag that she tends to use. Remember when he was running around everywhere, Sasha Stone? And for some, God, Sasha Stone is just always got his chest hanging out. He's just very homoerotic, I guess, is the best way to describe him. You remember when he was talking about how cool a biker he was? And then he couldn't pull out on that very slight incline. And then Sasha Stone's like, I've never rode a bike before. And he had a passenger on, and he just pulled right out. And Scott McKay had to restart his bike. Had to restart his bike after he killed it on that hill. God, that was a funny video. And you can tell, like, as soon as he kills it, he immediately looks at the camera like, oh my God, are they still recording? Can you shut that down for a second? There it is. Ultra Gal Rosie. Sorry, I can never remember her name on Instagram. Rose McKay is her name. He calls her Goldilocks. There she is. Seems like a couple of videos there. This is Scott McKay's wife, Goldilocks. There's better photos of her. She makes Scott take photos of her in their living room. Apparently, there's a video of her where she walked out topless while Scott was live streaming. There's a video of her where she walked out topless while Scott was live streaming, and that photo is being passed around. Where's one of the ones where they're posing in the? She's got pictures with Scott. There's just not very many of them, but there's a couple of them. She's posing in their living room, which is also Scott's studio. If you've ever seen Scott's show, she's posing in their living room. And you can clearly tell, like, the studio's behind them, and Scott's taking the pictures. Now, Scott was a competition weightlifter or something, and he's so weird about that time in his life. He actually paid, there's one in their living room. He actually paid a company to remove all of that from the internet. There's Scott right there. It's hard to tell, but that's definitely him. He paid a company to remove all of those images from the internet. It's got, like, companies will do a scrub for you. A lot of OnlyFans girls do it because their nudes or whatever get leaked, and they're not being paid for them if they're being leaked. So they'll do copyright claims on them, but they'll pay a company to scrub it. There's Scott's woman, Ultra Gal Rosie. I didn't realize that she would be flossing. But it seems like she's got something stuck up in there. She's flossing a little bit. Then that's good for gum health. I hear. There you go. Yes, they're fake. That's part of it. Oh, there's a shot straight from her vagine. She is a health nut. She likes to work out quite a bit. And so did Scott back in the day. That's what I was saying. He was a weightlifter, competition bodybuilder. There are some photos of him that exist, but most of them, like I said, he paid a company to scrub them from the internet, which is a weird thing to do. Like, I understand if it's something you're embarrassed about, something that you have copyright claims to, you don't want it out there for free, or people illegally downloading it, uploading it. Those things I can kind of understand. But if it's just like, oh, I was a bodybuilder in the past, why would you pay a company? Why would you pay a company to scrub those from the internet? That seems weird, right? It's just me? I don't know. It seems weird to me that you would pay a company to scrub those from the internet. But it seems very strange. That's a hotel room. That's not there. She has a bunch of them in the living room. I guess it just haven't been on here in a while. She loves to upload. She uploads quite a bit. There's even a couple without Scott's hat on, or where she's standing up. She's taller than Scott, so she's standing up beside Scott, and he hasn't like got his heels on or whatever. And hasn't got his hat on. Those are some good ones. He's very embarrassed about his bald spot. Or it's not even a bald spot. He's very embarrassed about being bald. He does not like images without his hat on, which I wear a hat all the time too. But fuck, I shave my head. Like I'm not trying to hide anything. I shave it every other day. Shaved it this morning. I like the feel of it, slick. Where are all those images from the living room? It's been a while. Maybe they moved. I know he did buy a piece of property. He was complaining one day that he bought a brand new piece of property, and I think he said he spent $27,000 to have his property just fenced in. There she is with Scott. Just to have his property fenced in. Memorial Day weekend. They're out having some sushi, it looks like. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody. So there was a picture of Scott. Just, Matt, what size property do you own that is $27,000 to have a fence put around it. There they are again together. That's a lot of fencing. That's a lot of fencing. Scott has to be sitting down. It's hard to tell. Like a lot of times I notice that he'll stand on like a ledge. See, she's bent over. She's definitely taller than him there. They're both standing. Have you ever seen him get on a motorcycle? Ooh. It takes a little bit. Kind of like there's our legs. Kind of like a little run and go. He's like on his tippy toes on a normal motorcycle. On a normal human-sized motorcycle, he struggles. And I've seen some short guys that are able to touch the ground. Scott is tiny. Scott is he's fun-sized. Scott is a tiny manlet, a tiny wee little lad. He is very small. When I saw him get on that motorcycle in the garage, and I thought, man, it looks like he needs a booster seat. Or maybe a little ramp he can pull up beside so he can get on and off. Like it was. And then he started bragging one time when one of his followers sent him a sippy cup. He's like, oh, it doesn't leak. I can, a lot of times I'm in the car and I just turn it over and I shake it everywhere. And look, it doesn't leak at all. One of his viewers sent him a sippy cup. And he was so amazed by the technology, he just kept bragging about it. He just kept bragging about it. He just like over and over and over and over and over and over and over. God, that same story he talks about that. Good God, they'd throw that bike out afterwards. I don't think that's supposed to be how you do it. There's no seat on there, folks. Just the post. Good grip. Good Lord. He tells that stupid story about, I was a goner, folks. It sounded like somebody was stabbing a walrus. That's all I could hear. The pearly gates. Pearly gates coming up in front of me. That's all I could see. God said, no, not you, son. It's not your time. Dream shattered. Broke my pelvis in 117 places. Got 17 screws in all 17 joints of my 17 leg. It's just, it's ridiculous. Ooh, somebody's a little excited from the cold water. She loves to post. Loves to post on Instagram. There he is. Look, there's Cowboy Scott. And his cleavage. Looks amazing. There she is. She's standing up. He's standing up. That's an accurate photo. There he is at his studio finally, though. Of course, he's sitting down. That's a joke. Oh, Lord God, that one's peeking out a little bit. I'm over here trying to read lips. What's it saying? Speak to me, oh toothless wonder. Sorry. I get carried away sometimes. Whisper to me all your secrets. All of them. All of these secrets. Apparently she runs as well. I was always told if I didn't have anything. Now, she's not in his videos. She doesn't come out in his videos. I don't have anything nice to say. I probably shouldn't say anything. So I'll just pass. There's a good one. So this is a video. This is a picture she made Scott take, and that's obviously his studio. That's his background. So his computer would be like to her right, just off the screen this way. His computer, that's the wall and plant and the pictures behind him when he does his studio. The way his apartment's set up is it's got this weird half wall in it. So right off the edge of this picture is a wall that like makes that little hallway there. That's where his computer's set up. And that was one of the images. I wonder what I can't remember what our OnlyFans link is. You guys remember? Bust the nuts 444. I just want to be nice. I just want to be a nice guy. I just want to be nice and enjoy some pictures while I'm being nice to everyone and everybody. Just being nice. That's what we're doing. We're being a nice guy. There he is in his biker getup. Look out. He's a biker, guys. He's a biker. Drinking a mimosa. Those are some well-defined armpits. Miss Priss, is this anything for you or no? If you don't know, Miss Priss has a foot fetish. I don't know if it's if it has to do with what genitalia are above the feet, or if it's just all feet, or it's hard to tell. You know, she keeps changing it up on us and then acting like we're the weird. Oh, there's his bald spot shining for us. Show it to me, Papa Scott. Damn it, it's froze where it's trying to load the next set of images. Oh, there it goes. There it is. This is even an old picture. He's fully bald. He's so bald right now. And she always takes pictures. His little beret, that's the last thing I'd wear if I wanted to look like an adult, is a Harley Davidson beret. That's like when you think you're setting a new trend in middle school, guys. That is not an adult appropriate hat. Okay. Look, I know I'm the guy sitting here in a backwards hat. It's habit. I like it. I don't care. It's out of date. You'll never catch me in any beret other than the ones I earned in the military. Beret. Are you kidding me? I'm going to be the edgy kid. I'm going to wear a beret to school. I'm start a fedora. I'm going to give me a fedora and wear it to school. Okay. Gotcha. She has so many pictures like in little mini albums, and they're unrelated. So like you might click on this one, and the next picture she's in a pool, the next picture she's in Italy, the next picture she's at college. Like, it's hard to tell. There was some good ones that we found a couple times. Them sitting together, him with his bald head on full display. There's some of these pictures have some good ones in here, but it takes so long to go through them. And she posts so freaking... Oh, there's a good shot. Oh, did it click on the wrong one? This is the one I wanted. There's a good shot. I have Mariah pose like this every once in a while. Whisper your secrets to me. All right, guys. That is Scott McKay's girlfriend. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations and support. Special welcome to Marianne Mann. I know that this is probably not her type of show. If it's not your thing, you never come back. I appreciate you coming and giving us a shout out. I appreciate that. If you want to contribute to the show, anybody, go to coldbeer.fund, 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 FUND instead of .com. That's how we keep the show going. Generous donations like you guys have always been around to help us keep the show going. Typically 7 nights a week. We're looking at changing the schedule now a little bit to do some more recorded content, skits and stuff, but still it's usually 7 days a week. If you want to keep the show going, pay the rent, pay the lights, I got an office here, pay the light bill, you can do that at coldbeer.fund, and we would greatly appreciate it. Donations are slow different times during the year. Sometimes they pick back up, sometimes they don't, but you're more than welcome to donate if you want to. Now, if you want something for your money instead, go sign up for Patreon. You get extra shows, right? Now, if you just want to send a donation, that's fine. But if you're like, I'm not just sending out free money, go to Patreon, patreon.com/coldbeer. It's on the same page. There's a thing that says Patreon. Click on it. Sign up for any level in between $2 and $15 a month, and you get extra shows. So depending on what you get more, the more levels you sign up for, the higher the level. Thank you guys. Everybody have a good night. Don't do anything that Ultra Gal Rosie would do, because you got to take little bit Scott McKay along with you. You guys have a good night. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Keep the baby in your thoughts and prayers. A micro preemie of my nephew. as they stick around the hospital trying to get him strong enough to come home. And thank you all for joining us. We'll see everybody on the next one. Support the stream while we're offline at coldbeer.fund. Have a good night, guys. Love you. See you. Bye. And even a song featuring Scott McKay.
This about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the fork and balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them
The last time Mariah blew me a kiss like that was because I stuffed a bunch of air in it.
fork and balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go,
And it just randomly comes out when she moves around.
It's about to get lit, get the place in the best. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit, get the place in the best. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6 cents for the stupid.
She's been quaffing.
Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, I'm going to try to see if they'll let me come over there and record a snippet while they walk out of the... That's a big deal when you get to take your baby home, especially if it's been there for months in the hospital.
Hammers like four in a thong.
Record a little snippet of them bringing it home. That'd be cool.
Starving for attention, I'm gonna make
Thank you, Thomas Baker. I appreciate it. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys that...
lizard people, alien sex.
damn it, I forgot what I was going to say now.
A retard in a vest climbing up 5G towers, cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers.
Oh, Thomas Mullen. Thomas contacted us. He's still watching the replay. Says he watches all the shows. So shout out to Thomas Mullen, our big fan of Cross of the Ocean. And Bucka the other day. I don't think I ever said this because I was dying when it happened. Bucka donated a gift card for my birthday to the show and said that he hopes to get back to watching the show soon. You guys, if you've been here long enough, you remember Bucka. It's been a while, but my birthday was in February, and he donated an Amazon gift card and had Mariah. I was dying at the time, so he had Mariah check and make sure it came through. But yeah, thank you.
And saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What?
And I am taking donations from the elderly. If you want to give me $100,000 to build a studio, it'll be the best damn studio you've ever seen. We might have flying cars and robot servants. Who knows? Beer dispensing apparatus. Any of Bert's former followers, my PayPal is open, and so are my DMs. I need me a sugar mama. See you guys. Have a good one. Zally me.
Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down his throat. Now things are getting